Before that, I want each group to introduce themselves so we know which group we're talking about. Which group is this? Group 4. Okay, group 4 is what?
The private sector.
Private sector. What group is this?
We're two.
Group 2. What group is group 2?
Specialists. Or
Specialist. Okay, academics and researchers. What group is this?
Government.
Government. Okay. Group 5. What group is this? Community. Group 1. What group is this? NGOs. Group 3. Alright, so we know where each group is seated. So let's go ahead. If we do not know how to get started, then I'll come up with my questions to get us started.
We're the government.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Like, can we start with the questions?
Yes, go ahead with the questions.
So we're addressing like the main topic we're all talking about is like how to restore these peatlands or what's going to be done with the peatlands.
Yes.
Okay. As the community, I feel like we should get most of the say. We have ancestors buried there. We rely on these peatlands for like livestock grazing. We fish along there, and healthy soils are important for healthy water. So we should have control over these soils. These are sacred sites and have been important to us for centuries.
Are you asking for reparations?
Not asking for reparations, just like management control.
So the government is currently in charge. So how does the government feel about that? Returning back the natural resource back to the community. Is that something you're willing to give up?
Yeah, that's one of our top priorities, is to ensure like that they can still make livelihoods off of the peatland and that the like land rights of indigenous peoples are protected. However, negotiations need to be done for that. And then, yeah, wait, what else did I say? One thing the government in pursuing the project has done is at the beginning is making sure that the communities are informed. Like we sent like officers out that would talk in like native languages multiple times to explain like what's going on with the project and fully give the community members a choice and make sure that they're not being coerced in anything and they can still do things like farm and fish and everything that they need to do and then come to their own decision on if they want the project. So.
How come in spite of all that you've done, the community is still not satisfied?
Because it's unclear about the plans specifically with like indigenous land use and on if they'll have to like give up some so that the project can continue, on if we'll have to like coerce with like the Ministry of Forestry for the land, and they are not sure currently if it's gonna be like good rewards for them to actually participate or if we're just gonna be coming in and doing this project and like not really giving back, like just reducing our emissions and that's it.
How does the community feel about that?
We feel that historically the government has not delivered on these sentiments, that the land has been rented out and to corporations, and that the industrial farming of these corporations is what initially led to the degradation of the peatlands. We worry that there aren't enough rights in place for our sacred sites and our cultural heritage sites.
With regards to ownership, the ownership conversation that is ongoing between community and government, is there any other stakeholder groups that want to lay claim to the ownership of it, of the forest?
We don't want to claim ownership of the forest, but we would like to help the community have a sustainable livelihood and maybe work with the government to ensure that land is given back to them and ownership, while also making sure they have a sustainable livelihood and they're not overusing the resources.
The NGO has a plan to eventually give the land back to the community. Does that sit well with the government?
That's the NGO group?
That's the NGO group.
Thank you.
Do you guys support that?
Yes.
Can you guys put a timeline to it? How many years are you willing to give that back?
How much
Well,
land?
reducing emissions
How
is gonna
much
take
land?
I think that we should give enough land, maybe this is just an idea, but maybe leave some land aside, to have the government, regulate, to make sure that it's not overused and ensure there is some conservation.
To be left out of the project.
Yeah, but give the majority to the community to,
Are there practices that you might want to see the community stop?
yes, those that are not sustainable, I can't remember all of like the
Bush
practices.
burning,
What?
cultivation of crops.
Yes, but we can do that in a sustainable manner. And maybe not everyone, practice farming. Maybe we can work with people to see if they're, like, what livelihoods they would be interested in, and give them funding to work towards those.
Does that sit well with community? Is that a compromise you're willing to take? Give up some of your traditional practices in order for the NGO to facilitate the transfer of the forest back to you eventually?
I'm definitely willing to hear him out, to change the practices into more sustainable ones that could regenerate the land, and with an understanding that it takes time for these things to change.
I 100% agree.
I believe the academics will also have a voice in that argument. If there are some practices that are not sustainable at the moment, how can the academics help evaluate those practices to ensure it is sustainable?
We just ask for like access to collect data on the land and see like, you know, what is actually going on and give an unbiased review of it.
Okay, where do you get the money from? Conducting field work, collecting the data, you require a lot of money. And that money is only available from the government and from the corporation. So who are you willing to partner with to get the money?
I think we'd probably prefer to partner with the government.
Partner with the government. How does that sit? We are headed somewhere, guys. How does that sit with the corporation?
Listen, we want these researchers and
You gotta
scientists
listen up.
on our side. We have more money that we're willing to give, and you don't have to go through all the red tape for either of that. There are some stipulations, I think, on how exactly we want the research done. To look at it, we'll discuss that later.
Well, we're definitely like willing to partner with everybody on this. You know, I think it's also important to again have people educated on the topic. So working with local communities and universities is super important to making sure that it's well known exactly what is going on. So there could also be funding from other places as well, as long as people support it.
So far so good with you guys? Alright.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
How bad are we allowed to be?
As bad as a traditional political counterpart.
Okay.
We're short this shit.
We're
taking it all.
We can go out for
Hey,
beers later.
Some arguments are traditionally hard topic, but do we avoid them? No. We try to talk about them to find a way to address them. Do you want to go ahead with that hard conversation?
Do we want to?
Is there ever gonna be like an in-private conversation amongst the stakeholders? Or
Yes, you can. You can ask for excuse from the other stakeholders, join them for a brief conversation, then come back and tell us what you guys have agreed.
Alright.
Okay?
Yeah. I'm just curious if that's a.
Oh, no, don't be scared. I think this is a safe space. To make us more comfortable. Hold on, guys. Now, to make us more comfortable, let's address the 4 arrows first. Let's go with each group and ask about their rights. This is an for you. Okay, let us start with government. What are your rights with regards to the KFCP?
Okay, so we have the statutory right to land and resources and to delegate those and distribute them. We have the right to set and enforce land, peat, and carbon rules to reach our emissions goal. We can allocate permits for kind of like reductions. And then we have access to the funding and resources that we need for this. We are in partnership with the Australian government or the Indonesian government. That's what we're acting as, by the way. And it says steward national registries and one map data. I'm just assuming that means that we are overseeing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
The government is in charge of that forest property at the moment. Does that right sit well with every other person? Yes, please.
I have a question. Could you re-say the thing, you started with allocate, I just missed the second part.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like the second point
Yeah.
or like that sentence?
That sentence.
Okay. Allocate permits?
Permits, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I don't really. This is my first day in the government, so I'm not really sure what permits are.
All right, community. You've heard what the government's rights are. Are your rights in conflict with the government? What are your rights on the KFCP?
Our rights are the recognition of like indigenous land rights and making sure that the indigenous people have access to the land and the resources on this land. And then FPIC, which is free, prior, informed, isn't it something like that?
Free informed prior consent.
Free, informed, prior consent, okay. So that we should have the ability to know like everything that's happening, with like the government and with the land rights. And then also just having access to the livelihoods that we hold with fishing and farming, and then also access to sacred heritage sites.
So, your rights do not conflict with the rights of the government.
No.
Good. NGOs. What are your rights?
I'm scared, I don't know.
Don't be scared. It's a safe space.
Got it.
Independent monitoring and participation in decision spaces, and also to have access to information, and we would like to be able to raise grievances without retaliation.
Good. Okay. Corporations, what are your rights?
I would say our rights are to like be able to conduct business. We have a right to land just as much as anyone else, I would say. Rights to profit from it. I would also go as far as say we have the right to look to the government for, you know, some sort of regulation. But we also have the rights to try to find our way around some of that as well.
What regulations do we have in place? And what regulations can we put in place to help address the rights of the corporations?
Well, if they are supplying funding and like resources for the project, we have to give them some sort of like share and benefit so that it's not just one-sided. Money and
Money talks.
yeah, money and some land, but the land preservation for indigenous communities is one of our top priorities. So it's gonna have to be a negotiation.
Does that sit well with you guys?
We're gonna talk about the negotiations for the.
Yeah, they're basically asking for more money.
If you give us more land, we'll give you more money.
Our pockets are open.
Yeah, and
Take
if the government stays out of us buying privately owned land, like from community members who might give up their share. We don't want government interference.
I like that. Yes. Are you guys willing to sell a portion of that forest to a company to establish a factory and pay tax and probably job opportunities for your kids? What do you guys think?
It would depend on the regulations that you were willing to discuss. You want assurances that you would not pollute, and assurances that the money generated by these industries would come back into the community.
Yes, please.
I'd say that also falls on government to enforce us to do that. You know,
We will.
we're gonna do our best, but the government also has to do their part in stepping in and making sure.
Okay. Do you know that you can actually buy regulations? Do you know that you can also create your own regulations? Yes, you can buy regulations. Yes, you can buy regulations. And you can also create your own regulations, and that's why we have this stakeholder group here. They are very educated to help us provide the books that is needed to support the policy and regulation. So just to put it there, as a caveat, yes, you can actually, they can use their money to buy the rights. It's a possibility, and that's something they're interested in. So please take note of that. Okay, what are your rights?
We want ethical access
access to sites or data with consent, and we care about academic freedom and safety.
Good. Does anyone from any other stakeholder group has issues with the rights of any stakeholder groups here? The only conflicts that we have at the moment is from the corporations. They want to buy more land, they want to buy land. Because right now they are considered secondary stakeholders, they want to make themselves primary stakeholders by owning the land. They are also asking of the government to create regulations. Regulations are not in their favors right now, they want to see regulations in their favor. How do we need to compromise to help them? That's what I want to see in your analysis, how best that can be done to protect your own interest, your own stakeholder group interest, and also meet them at a good balance point. Let's take it a notch higher. Any questions? Does anyone have any questions for any of the stakeholder groups? No?
Yeah,
Yes.
if corporation, if you guys, if we decide that we want to go ahead and sell some land, you guys build some factory, what are you guys going to do for, work? Are you guys going to hire our people? And if so, are you going to provide us healthcare or some sort of some type of insurance as well? Or any sort of protection?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely gonna have the job market available. Are you lying?
I like that.
We have the best interest of y'all in mind, right? We want to foster y'all's community. Y'all's community is what's gonna make our factory work. We need y'all's
Dental?
community.
Dental?
That's through your government, that's not on us.
We'll put in place labor regulations.
Labor regulations, okay. Yes,
So
academics.
with the regulations, we would be the ones monitoring and reporting that. So are you willing to comply and practice sustainable practices?
Hold on now. These are all contract workers, all right? They don't apply to the same stipulations that the regular workforce would apply to. Because they're all contractors.
Okay, you don't even have a factory yet.
Y'all right.
Whatever would become of the management strategy, you can tell from the beginning. You can tell from the beginning. Yes, please, Leah.
A question about, will you guys end up just lobbying your way past these environmental regulations set up by the government? Are you guys gonna pay off politicians to get into office to?
Yes.
That's fine.
And what?
Okay, I think we are all at a comfortable place right now. Let's take it a notch higher. Let's talk about responsibilities. Okay? So far, so good. We are all taking notes of everyone's rights and what everyone wants with regards to their rights. Responsibilities, academics, get us started.
So we want to provide rigorous baselines at MRV, which is monitoring, reporting, and verification. Also practicing ethical research standards, sharing results in accessible formats, building local capacity, and coordinate to avoid harm or duplication. We want to do this in a sustainable and respectful way.
Does that responsibility infringe on anyone's responsibilities here? Yes, please.
I got a question. When you say ethical research, you mean you can give us all the research, or are you just gonna cherry pick the data and only give us the results that
So we want to do it in an unbiased way, but I think the issue is that there are missing key points to the data. We don't have everything because of the transfers in ownership and stuff like that. So it's more just trying to compile all of the data instead of picking it. So.
Okay, any question to the responsibilities of government officials? To the academics? None?
Yeah, if I have some land and you guys want to come research on it, what do I get out of it?
The data.
Beyond the data, I mean, what if if that land is just useless to me? Why would I want to let you guys come and, do research on my land if I don't care anything about the data?
Well, I think we would only come out there if you wanted the data from it.
Yes,
Can I help?
yeah, please.
Typically, even if the land is vacant, there's nothing on the land, you're still benefiting from it through ecosystem services.
Yeah, but what if I'm super sketchy and I got some stuff going on? I don't want to know my property.
Then I'll suggest the academics don't even go there. This is a threat. It's a threat to their life. It's a threat to their life.
He's the weakest link. Also come take his land.
Yes, the government, what's the responsibilities? Please don't say taxation.
One of our biggest ones is recognizing indigenous rights, and ensuring the FPIC coordinate with agencies, enforce the safeguards.
So just extra people. The bathroom. Sorry, so hard to write on here. Oh, okay. One of our other responsibilities that I think would be useful is to provide clear, like, plans, yeah, I can't read, plans and mapping of areas, especially for the land use, and inform stakeholders and continuously monitor, like, our project that we're putting in place.
Good. Did anyone notice they left out taxation? But taxation is the responsibility of the government. Are you guys trying to be sneaky?
We're open to conversations.
Maybe the Australian taxpayers will also be
Okay. Foreign tax, that works. Any questions to them regarding their responsibilities? Is it fair? Is it equitable? Is it just? They talked about some of your practices, recognizing some of your practices. Does that bode well with you? Why not recognize all the practices? Just me thinking out loud. Okay? Now, let's go back to the community. What are your responsibilities?
We're gonna co-manage the peat restoration. We will follow agreed upon no burn and no drain rules that are decided here at the committee. We're going to participate in community MRV and patrols. So we'll report fires, encroachments, make sure that everyone's holding up their agreements.
Does that bode well with everyone? The NGOs, what are your rights? What are your responsibilities rather?
We're going to facilitate the prior informed consent and rights-based processes, strengthen safeguards and grievance mechanisms, provide training, monitor, report any issues going on, and coordinate civil society.
Yes. Does anyone have any questions to them regarding those responsibilities? Yes, please.
What does coordinate civil society?
Here, work with you guys. And work with you guys and like mediate.
That sounds good.
Like help connect you guys with the government to make sure you guys get your rights and stuff like that.
I'm super on board with that.
Yes. When someone coordinates civil activities, they're just acting like a liaison between institutions. Okay? For instance, community members, if they want to go and picket, if they want to strike, if they want to protest, it is their responsibility to put them together under a single umbrella, take them there, bring them back. So that's what it means. Okay? Yes, corporations. What are your responsibilities?
All right, we have a couple big ones. I think the first big one is that we have the obligation to like spur the economic development of either the resource or the area around that. There's the obligation there. We also have a responsibility to comply to regulations.
That's fair. Let him learn.
I think like potentially too, like we can look at like the responsibility of either like reparations or like maintaining some of our environmental issues. And like I think we should have some say in like the contract of who's doing the reparations. Maybe we can hire like, our own people to do that too. Yeah, I don't know what else.
I think that's pretty good. I mean, we also obviously have to make profits to be able to pay off our share of the tax for the government.
Yes, I wanted to call you out on that. One of your biggest responsibilities is paying tax.
Oh, right.
Yes. Any questions regarding their responsibilities? None?
How can we
Thank you, Josh.
accurately track you guys' attempt to follow regulations? Are you guys gonna release some sort of forum, some sort of informational sheet to the public or government about what you guys are doing?
Maybe we would let in the non-government organization to come check us out. Maybe. You know, we're gonna skew it realistically in our favor, but they're still a non-government, which benefits us, but it also, you know, could reflect to you guys.
I think it's also
Go ahead.
it's also sort of like up to either the government and like the researchers to hold us accountable. Like, we have the standards, but if we're breaking them, we're gonna keep breaking them until they tell us to stop breaking them.
Are you all based in the Philippines? Or is it like a foreign company?
Where are you guys based? Okay. Do we all have our responsibilities down? Okay, let's talk about our returns. Our returns, what are our benefits, what do we give back? Okay? Let us start with corporations. What are your returns?
Oh, we're starting?
Right.
Sorry. Well, we have our profits in the forms of taxes, obviously that's a return to the community. Probably supplying jobs, I would say maybe our compliance with non-organizations, maybe funding research. Anything else that you guys?
Any questions to them on that? They're basically saying their returns are their corporate social responsibilities. Depending on what they get, they give portion of it back. Is that fair? Is that okay? Is that just? Is that equitable? I think everyone likes that. Yes, academics. What are your returns?
We would give back publications, data, student training, and long-term research collaborations and funding continuity.
You sound like a professor. That's good. Government, what are your returns?
Okay, we're gonna make progress towards emission goals and reg goals, promote rural jobs and revenues, economic stimulation, investor confidence for the private sector, and improve governance and data for policy making, so like making sure the regulations are in check, and also the trust and spread of knowledge. That's kind of academics, but.
Any questions regarding your returns?
Yeah, we'll help you out.
I like the invest in private sector.
You know we are too.
It's called private-public partnership, PPP. Okay? Community, what are your returns? Please take note of that suggestion of PPP, because that could eventually become the dominant form of managing. Okay? But regardless of that, it cuts off the community. So it's just strictly co-management between the government and the private company, but the back burner would then be the community's rights, responsibilities, and also returns. Please take note of that. Okay? What about your returns? Community?
We're looking to secure tenure, cash, benefits, paid jobs, contracts. We want to reduce the fire and haze. We want to improve water and soil quality to improve livelihoods for the people that fish and grow around here. We want to protect our cultural heritage, and we want capacity to build, maybe expand education. And we'd like to make sure that at the end of the day, we still have a say in management over our lands.
That's very important. Okay? Yeah. Does the community want to take complete ownership of this project?
We're willing to have help, but full ownership would be nice.
You're willing to have help. So after this conversation, I want to see you try to create a partnership with the existing partnership that has been formed by the government and the corporation. Because they're about to sideline you guys. Yes, yeah.
I was just gonna say, as the locals who have lived in the area for generations, we have the best knowledge on how to manage the area, so.
But you guys are not making a strong argument for just community ownership. I would like to see these particular natural resources managed by the community. But you guys are not making a strong case to oppose what is going on between the government and the corporation. I see this relationship sidelining every other stakeholder group here.
Well, it's our land, so we could go through NGOs to work with them, and they should work with the researchers. So that kind of path.
Should we just brawl like our two clans?
If these two stakeholder groups are trying to partner up, then you can counter them by forming partnership with these two organizations. These two organizations, yes please.
We don't have any money.
You don't have any money, but you are an NGO. So meaning that while it is empty, there's potential to get money from anywhere. If you can market what you want to do, you get the funds, but not for the community because they don't have it from anywhere. If you listen to the documentary, you know. Yes, please.
Can we also, or like, I think you would want to maybe ask for grants from the government in some sort of way, so we have the resources. So we have the resources to manage.
I'd like to bring up the point to the government that these companies, they seem good, like they can make you a lot of money in the short term, but what they're actually going to do is just take all of your resources, and then once all the soils are dead, once all the fish are floating up in the water, they're gonna leave town with their money.
They wouldn't do that.
Also, if you put the community on the back burner, you guys are gonna have a lot of angry community residents that you have to manage as a government. So if you're supporting your
With the
community,
NGOs backing. Yes.
Yes, we're gonna be protesting y'all.
and you don't really want that, do you? Because that can turn into a whole
Well, where's
other
the media
thing,
group?
civil unrest.
Yeah.
You're siding with the NGO.
Right
Yes, please,
here.
Alexa.
Right
If
here.
we as the community are willing to work with you guys, hold on, my thought just left. Never mind.
You got time, we're patient. You good?
Yeah, I can't.
When it comes back to you, let us know, okay? All right. What are your responsibilities? We're definitely gonna come back on that. What are your returns, brother? We're talking on returns. What are your returns? NGO.
We have to ensure accountability from,
Yes, that's the accountability we're talking about.
ensure partnership with local communities and academics. Learning, so education, spending education. Making sure things work out.
Any questions on that? Yes, please.
It came back to me.
Thank you.
So if we as the community are willing to work with you guys, if you put strict regulations on the private sector and they hold up to being able to like provide our community and still protect our burial areas and things like that, but they can't walk all over us. They have to give our community jobs and not just outsiders that they're contracting in. And the NGOs can then help us with that. If you guys fall through on that, then they can help us with like any sort of uprising or anything to keep you guys in check. So as long as you're making sure they're holding up on their promises to not abuse our land, then we're willing to work with the government to give you some land.
Acceptable?
Good.
Good. Yes, please.
I'd like to point out that the corporation said that they were gonna contract workers. not
Yeah, that's
us.
what I meant.
Okay,
See,
it's on them then.
the contract worker doesn't favor the community.
Mhm.
All right. I like the way this is actually going because this is a model stakeholder forum that we're having. In the real stakeholder forum, I'm not going to point it to you guys right now, but indeed, it is the government and corporation that eventually took the big share of that project. Yes, please.
Just going back to how we know the land best, there could be some unfortunate circumstances that befall corporations if we see the government and corporations not treating us fairly.
Please elaborate on those.
We will not, we will invoke our Fifth Amendment right. Just know, some unfortunate things.
Indonesia for Christ's sake.
Hey, they're not from Indonesia, why do we have to be?
Oh no, but the workers there are.
There are so many companies in Asia, in Africa that are not owned by Asians or Africans. Just have the money. Okay? I want us, the most important thing I want us to take out of this, besides completing our class project, is for us to understand how this works. If you don't speak up for yourself, you lose the influence that you have. If you don't speak up for yourself, you lose the power that you have. The sad part is that you watch it taken away from you because you don't want to speak up, because you decide, well, I don't care at that moment. You lose what you owe dear. Yes, Alexa?
So for researchers, for you guys, if you guys are willing to work with us as the community to, if we allow in the private sector to build on our land and make jobs and everything, if you guys are willing to monitor the agricultural outcomes and how it affects our land, if you guys keep the data coming from us on truthfully and honestly, then we know what they're doing, so then we can communicate with the government to keep them in check.
Good. But why do you still want the government?
They have money.
They have the money if,
They have
They also
money
have
to take.
strength to make
Or why are
Yeah.
we still partnering with them? Like, we don't need a factory.
But I don't wanna like.
Yeah, so it'd be a great place for a Walmart,
There
I'm not
would,
gonna lie.
there would always be an evil in the room. There will always be an evil in the room. It's funny, but it is real. It is real. I want us to really learn the lesson so that when we get to the field and we see things manifesting this way, it doesn't surprise us. Okay? There will be a devil in the room. Now you choose the lesser devil. Choose the lesser devil that is offering something better than what the larger devil is offering. I'm not going to point hand in this room, but we know in the real sense of things who the devils are. Now, because you don't have the resources, doesn't mean you can't speak up for yourself, or at least break apart this partnership. And that's what I see you doing right now. In attempt to do that, strengthen this partnership. Because they would always be on your side unless they are offered big cash by these guys. I'm an academic, I can tell you, whoever pays for my research, he's the one going to do the research for. Community doesn't have that money, but there's a way community can approach you, cry to you, and make you do what they want you to do even without that big money. Is that making sense? Let's consider the last part, then we'll have open conversation about the management style for this project. So let's talk about relationships. It's prime for us to talk about it. NGO, I'd like to see you guys start talking about it. What's your relationship?
We're the watchdog. We implement partnerships for the what do you call it? Liaison
Yes.
between community, state, and them.
Everybody.
And also that. Yeah.
Okay, cooperation. Finally, I left the relationship last because I really want to know finally who are we sticking with?
Realistically, probably the government, right?
The government.
To some capacity, yeah.
Well, relationship is a two-way traffic. The government, do you guys want the relationship with them?
Yes, but
I think so.
we also don't want to lose the entirety of the project by only going with them. We don't want to lose, we want to reduce emissions, and y'all are already weird about that, so.
I'll let you guys know why I'm laughing. Now, the government sounds like, sorry, let me use this illustration, like a dude that is dating an ugly girl. You will only see them with the girl at night and not during the day. So the government doesn't want you to see the cooperation during the day.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, kind of you guys know that we have something special. Don't pretend like what we have isn't special. But we can't just let you guys do whatever you want because we have other things to consider, like this land use, and we don't want. I mean, there's 8 of us. There's 14 of them. If we were to fight right now, we would lose. So we don't want to if we have to push y'all to this side. Actually, I don't know. We wouldn't do that. I take that back.
We wouldn't lose.
Yeah, we need your funding, but we don't want to destroy everything.
Good, you've hit the nail on the head. What is most important to you? That's why I asked you guys to meet in your small group before this. What is most important to you? Money is most important to everybody. And the government doesn't have a dime without you guys and without their properties. So you have to play your cards very well. If they don't allow you functions, you don't pay tax to them. If they don't provide the right regulations, you go out of business, they don't have money. Then the community would continue to put so much pressure on them that the government would have to change. I don't know if this is making sense. Thank you very much, my boy, for that point. Any questions on that? Okay.
I add, like,
Yes,
we're not only open to just relationships with the government. Like, we want to partner with everybody. We're going to partner with community leaders. We're going to partner with NGOs, researchers. Like, this is all important.
Yes. It has to be two-way traffic. Do you want them? Do you want a relationship with them?
Yeah.
I saw that. What about you guys? Do you want a relationship with them? Do you need their money?
And we may not need their money if the government will give us money, or if we can get like grants from other organizations.
The government's just giving you money through us.
But
They're just like a
if we don't have to partner with you directly, we're not going to.
Okay, yes, we
That's the point I was gonna make, is that it's in the government's best interest for us to be here, because you're gonna tax us, you're gonna tax them, from our money to them to you.
The community has social entrepreneurs, community entrepreneurs that will develop business if you let them. And that tax money's gonna stay in Indonesia. It's not gonna fly away to, you guys kinda do everything, so everybody.
All right. I know we are having fun, but it is one funny thing. Again, I'll have to apologize. Okay? But I'm excited about the progress that we have made this week. Please, in my heart and in my mind, I'm screaming and clapping my hands for you guys, because you guys are really getting into the groove of things, and I really appreciate it, okay? Please don't stop getting better. I suggest you keep it, but if you want to give it back to me, I'll take it.
Yo, man. Where should I send this?